All right, people. Guess we'll meet up with the companions here. Apparently, they ran all the way across Skyrim with their weapons drawn to come to Ysgramor's tomb for Kodlak and all that.
This is the resting place of Ysgramor and his most trusted generals. You should be cautious. Kodlak was right. I let vengeance rule my heart. I regret nothing of what we did at Driftshade. But I can't go any further with my mind fogged or my heart grieved.
Are you freaking kidding me?
The original companions, their finest warriors, rest with Ysgramor. You'll have to prove yourselves to them. It's not that you're intruding. I'd wager they've actually expected us. They just want to be sure that you're worthy. Be ready for an honorable battle. Return Wuthra to Ysgramor. It should open the way. Until next time.
Wow. How can you sit there with the same mouth and say, I have no testicles? When they dropped, they fell all the way off, okay? And then turn right around and talk about honor and duty and being proved worthy and all that. Do you understand that you condemned yourself with your own mouth right there? It's proving yourself unworthy every step of the way up to this point? Okay, coward, stay back. What I need out of this quest line is the option to clean house when this is done. Okay? If I'm supposed to be leading the companions, okay, I'm going to lead companions, not these, what do they use? What's the term they use? Milk drinkers, okay? These cowards, this useless garbage. I mean, if they weren't claiming to be companions, if they weren't living under that roof, slamming down beer mugs in the mead hall, talking about glory and honor and blah blah blah, and then being none of that, not just not doing it, but not even being that, having no honor, having no courage, having nothing, and then to sit there and reap the benefits of being counted amongst those who are honorable and all that when you have none. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. They need to just bow out gracefully and just go on about their business, because these aren't companions, according to what their own little code says that they are. These fit the bill. Not one single letter describes them in any way, shape, or form, as far as the companions go, or what the companions are supposed to be, or something. Once again, just more proof in pudding that every one of the institutions in Skyrim, all of them, Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, Companions, they're all empty, they're all hollow, they're all shallow. They're shadows of their former self. There's nothing there that's even redeemable. You just literally start from scratch and rebuild and try to make of it what it was according to the old ways on which they were founded, or let them just go. Let them just fade off into history and cease to be. You know, looks kind of like what's happening with the Blades, unless there be a new dragon line that comes up. For all I know, our Dragonborn eventually works into becoming the new Emperor or something in the next Elder Scrolls. That there being a new dragon line to keep the dragon fires lit or something. Maybe coming from the Dovahkiin or something. That would be kind of cool if they worked something along those lines in. I think that would be neat. Is reestablishing what was, you know, starting anew, but maybe going by the, you know, the old code, the old laws, the things that worked. You know, as people stopped following those codes, these things cease to exist and they fall apart. So there must be something to that. I mean, it's kind of common sense, right? If the rules work and when you start breaking the rules, shit falls apart, probably because you're breaking the rules. And maybe the rules actually work, you know, that type of thing. So if maybe we went back to some of the old ways, I mean, that's the case with the Thieves Guild. You restore the Thieves Guild to Nocturnal, and there's and it wasn't a whole lot different in Oblivion, really. What the Grey Fox was doing with the Cowl of Nocturnal, keeping it for himself, once that was essentially taken away and so on and so forth, then although the Thieves Guild wasn't really in bad straits at the time, it's just the Grey Fox was perhaps misusing a Daedric artifact to some extent. But once all that was kind of rectified, things were back in order. The Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion, there was some cleaning house that needed to be done, very similar to what I see needing to be done here. I'm not saying we kill all the companions or whatever, but there needs to be a "you're fired" option. You need to get out of here because you're a pretender, you're a fake, you're a coward, you are there needs to be a dishonorable discharge where you can send them out head bowed in shame like they deserve. Because here, we are here to not only avenge Kodlak or redeem Kodlak's name, but do something that was important to him. If his death meant anything, and his leadership up to this point meant anything, and if the whole thing about even being a companion in the first place means anything, then you'd show some semblance of integrity and honor. And what I see is the companions finding these emo, sissy-ass excuses to bow out and avoid a fight. Yeah, don't even give me that for Kodlak. For Kodlak, what? You catch that stuff and burn off like a little bitch? What's that? I know you can't. I know you can't. Go on. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
I can't go any further, Shield Sister.
What was that?
Does someone live among the dead? Mortal fool, no one hides.
These spirits here. I don't know so much about the melee ones, but the archers here can essentially one-shot me. They're all pretty nasty. I mean, this is a pretty cool little gauntlet you have to run to get to the end of this place. You definitely get tested. Well, as soon as I say that, I think I just got hit by an arrow and it didn't do a lot. That's very strange. Maybe that's just a certain kind of a companion spirit, but for the most part, they're all elites. I mean, they will literally one-shot you. Well, maybe as my character stands right here, they one-shot me. I'm not just going to go run out and jump in front of their arrows to test that. I think I'll just sit back and kind of chill and let the only companion actually worth her salt, Ayala, get in there and actually fight. But if this is a test of worth, then we'll see who's with me at the end, if anybody, right? Whoever stays with me through this right here pretty much proves themselves. And like I said, I think the rest deserve to be ostracized, kicked out. If you couldn't manage to make it, the most important part of your career as a companion, right? You couldn't manage to even be there. You can't even show up for the meeting. You don't even call to let us know you're late, type thing. And then you don't. You need the old blue slip. You need to go.
You're good as dead.
I am kind of scared of that archer over there hiding behind that casket, if you can see him. I don't need him focusing on me. So from here, we did in the last one get the Azura Star questline active. We could probably go do that. We also need to go meet up with the, what is it, the head of the Oculus Penitus, whatever, the Emperor's Guard. We need to go meet up with the captain at Dragon's Bridge and get the schedule for his son, the rounds that he's making, and they got a pretty devious plot for the captain's son. I don't think that's going to end well. I don't think the best of Astrid's schemes are going to play out very well. Although, when you look at the whole Dark Brotherhood questline overall, you can kind of see a hand in there sort of gently nudging and guiding the quest along to where, let the pretenders amongst the Dark Brotherhood hang themselves, all right? And then, you know, the Night Mother, her presence will come back in, and that's not going to be stopped. Astrid's best efforts aren't going to keep that from happening. If she thinks she's running something but not paying due respects to the whole thing that the Night Mother and the Dark Brotherhood represent, then she's got another thing coming. She may not want to admit it. I think it scares her already, actually. I think she already kind of feels the ominous tones because she's going to realize she's been play acting. She's been taking a name on herself that she didn't really have permission to use. Or maybe at one point, if she might have been welcomed into the Dark Brotherhood, as soon as you come in and think that you're above Sithis and everything else, and you're just going to run something, okay, you can get away with it for a minute. But when you're called out on that, be prepared to defend yourself, because you know, she's going to be held accountable.
Someone there?
It is, along with the Thieves Guild, I would say probably my favorite quest line. I think the most well written, and I think it really sets the stage for future Thieves Guild stuff and future
Something has
Dark Brotherhood stuff.
sister.
Because not to spoil exactly how the story goes down, but you do restore the Dark Brotherhood to some extent, and it's pretty cool the way it plays out. And then kind of wonder where it's going to go from there, because if you reestablish a link to the Night Mother, kind of like you do in Oblivion, but the Dark Brotherhood just had traitors in the midst. It wasn't not the Dark Brotherhood, and then you're reintroducing the real Dark Brotherhood, and there it was. I mean, you had a listener. You had
I can't go any further, Shield Sister. Ever since Dustman's Cairn, the big crawly ones have been too much for me. Everyone has his weakness, and this one is mine.
Are you serious?
I'm not proud, but I will stay back with Vilkas. Give my regards to Ysgramor.
Stay back with... So he's a coward. You can go be a coward with him? You're going to sit there and just say that? You're not proud. You need to be more than just not proud. You need to be more than ashamed, actually. Wow. I've got nothing good to say about that. But it's speaking for itself. I don't even have to make the point. He's making it for me. That's cool. You're standing right there. You're not going to help what is essentially these two women. Chivalry really is dead with these two bitches in the companions, because they're going to sit there and let two women do their fighting for them right here. That's not to knock women. Women are strong in their own right? And the proof of that is right here. But what I'm saying is these guys not even. Well, okay. Well, we know they're not going to hold the door open for any women either. They're going to run like bitches at the first sign of trouble, and leave the women behind to swing their purses and fend for themselves. I'm sorry. There's a whole nother level of cowardice there. Whole nother level.
To yourself.
It is what it is. So yeah. Anyway, in the Oblivion Dark Brotherhood, it was still the Dark Brotherhood. It was still there. There was just traitors amongst them, and it was a really cool story, and it was really well played out. It was a long, in-depth quest, line of stuff. And in here, it's a little different. You walk in, and whatever the Dark Brotherhood ceased to be in Cyrodiil hadn't caught up to this group of imposters here. Well, not all of them. I think some of them, like the Lizard Guy and even Babette and stuff, were essentially true to the basic principles of the Dark Brotherhood as they were passed down from Astrid. Not being true to the actual tenets themselves, not really having studied that, more just listen to Astrid and being loyal as far as that goes. And I think that loyalty was recognized later on. But with there being no listener or speaker here, the Dark Brotherhood we have here is it's like I say, just a shell. It's just a name. Just a name. Doesn't apply to anything that anybody's actually doing other than running around taking contracts to kill people for money. I mean, that's it. And there's more to the Dark Brotherhood than just that. There's almost I don't know, a sense of what would you say, religious peace or something that they find in murdering and doing what they do for Sithis. And well, I mean, I don't really condone all that kind of stuff except in the game. We talk about how bad that shit is to do, but what's the first thing we do when we jump in Elder Scrolls? We go immediately seek out the Dark Brotherhood so we can be assassins. I don't get it. Yeah, it's definitely ironic. I don't remember how many more rooms of this we have. Each one's like a kind of a different trial in and of itself. Of course, the last one's going to be the worst. I think now that it's just Ayala and myself, and that's it. That everyone else is caught out and gone to exercise their cowardice back by the front door when it's just us, and they throw in a few more companion spirits. Well, it actually gets pretty nasty. This wasn't so bad right here, but Ayala's going to have a hard time tanking 4 or 5 of these spirits while I'm trying to stay out of the way of their arrows. Be kind of interesting. Maybe even summon a Dramora. Might use the old Sanguine Rose. Comes in handy every once in a while. They don't last long, but if you're doing decent damage, if you can get in there, they don't have to tank forever. If your Dramora can just take a few hits and stay alive long enough, you can get in there and deal with the enemies that are concentrated on him. Same MO. Been following through this entire playthrough. It's the way I keep alive on Legendary. especially with equipment limitations and stuff like that. It might be nice to run in a full set of, I don't know, whatever, dragon scale or even dragon bone, and, you know, with the axe in each hand and just go to town and go all berserk because you've got a really huge armor rating and you're putting out ridiculous amount of DPS with, you know, dragon bone axes or dragon bone swords or something. And go in there, you know, fully enchanted and stuff, and you can wreck house. Especially if you have a huge stamina pool, your power attacks are just, they're brutal. I mean, they really are. Once you have all your bonuses in place and you have all your one-handed damage leveled up and buffed with your armor and stuff, you can go in there and like just destroy some shit. But with this, it's a little more cautious. Everyone has their own play style. I choose this one, something to play off of. Anyone who's never really looked into legendary difficulty. I mean, even Master, when it was around, had its own challenges. Legendary takes it to another level. It basically doubles the difficulty from Master. Like, the damage you do is cut in half from whatever it was in Master, and the damage you take is almost doubled from what you had in Master. So, significant difficulty boost there. I like it. It makes it just right for me. You know, on one hand, you find some challenging fights, but on the other hand, you can still walk around sometimes, and you know, if you're always walking around and just barely getting by the skin of your teeth all the time, I mean, even Dark Souls rewarded you sometimes with those boss moments where you felt like a badass. You know, you may struggle with one stupid undead guy that just keeps owning your ass with his spamming his little power moves or something in the undead burg, right? But then turn right around and solo a boss and feel like a badass about it. At times, you at least got rewarded. You can't walk around and just be weak all the time. But then, on the flip side of that exact same coin, I don't want to walk around and be in boss mode all the time. I don't want to walk over. I don't want to one-hit everything. There's no challenge there. I'm not beating anything by doing that. Especially when I'm doing that with exploits, glitches, and cheats and things that the game is obviously not designed to support. That's not. There's no sense of accomplishment there. I'd really rather just not play. I embarrass myself to myself playing like that. But that's me. That's me. For those that like to run around with a 6,000 damage weapon and, you know, fully armor-rated armor and just walk through the game like that, okay. I mean, I guess, you know, it's your money. Play as you wish. Yeah, some of these spirits are getting kind of hard to kill. Man, I can't hit this dude. I just cannot hit him. Freaking ninja with a two-handed sword. Unhittable, that's crazy. Well, there was about to be another end. That dude kept getting away. I was totally out of stamina and everything. Alright, so I think we still have one more room. I think. One more main room. It's probably going to spawn 5 or 6 of those. And they'll probably all be, you know, elite level too, so I actually need to be careful. Definitely nice having a Dremora around since all the other quote-unquote companions caught out. I'm serious, that's actually going to annoy me for a while. You know, because talked about it, was expecting it, and then you hear them and see their lame excuses and their inability to be anything even closely resembling what they claim to be. These aren't even warriors. They're not honorable or brave or dutiful fighters in any sense of the word. Not at all. Not at all. That's a shame. Don't get me wrong, I'm not putting down the companions as an institution. Putting down these individuals calling themselves companions, these imposters, these cowards that in no way, shape, or form fit the bill. That's what I'm putting down. So dividing the two. Just like when you hear me talk about the Empire, I'm not talking about the Empire of old, which eventually basically started in Skyrim. I mean, to be frank about it. But when I talk about the Empire, I'm talking about what it's become. This thing which isn't the Empire, it just calls itself that. So there is a distinction there. In my mind, when I'm talking about that. So, you know, just to clarify, if you hear me down-talking the Empire, I'm not talking about the Imperials like we saw in Oblivion, or even earlier than that. When, you know... Ouch. Stop that. Definitely a distinction. And across the board, there's a distinction with everything in this game. All the way across the board with all the different groups, all the different factions or whatever. Yeah, see, Jamora kept him busy over here just long enough. Just long enough. What I don't need to do is get hit with any of those arrows. I don't want to get slid across the floor and have to reload. That's not cool. Let's go ahead and soften them up. No, match it. Blah. All right, I think that's it. I think we got through it. And we see who's stuck by my side. Faithful Ayala. Like I say, she makes a great romance option when all this is done, too. She's definitely loyal. She's got your back, so... But then you have to decide whether you want her to stay at home, and if you have Hearthfire or whatever, watch the children, or do you want her to come along and fight with you? Because then when she dies, you don't just lose a follower, then you lose your wife, too, so... But the whole, you know, the whole tiger stripe tribal paint across the face thing and the whole, you know, kind of halfway tribal barbaric look, I'm kind of down with that. Hyala's, you know, she does carry a certain hotness factor. Very cool. I know there's a chest around here somewhere. It's okay, let's talk to Kodlak.
Greetings, Shield Sister. Of course, my fellow Harbingers and I have been warming ourselves here, trying to evade hearsay. You see only me because your heart knows only me as the Companion's leader. I'd wager old Vignar could see half a dozen of my predecessors. And I see them all. The ones in Sovngarde, the ones trapped with me in Hearsay's realm. And they all see you. You've brought honor to the name of the Companions. We won't soon forget it. Did he now? I can only hope. You still have the witches' heads. Excellent. Throw one of them into the fire. It will release their magic. For me, at least.
Never should have come here.
Alright, so here's the werewolf nature being released or unbound from Kodlak's spirit. I think is the idea here. Take that, wolf spirit. I'm fixing to do that for myself also.
Greetings, Shield Sister. And so slain the beast inside of me. I thank you for this gift. The other Harbingers remain trapped by hearsay. Perhaps from Sovngarde, the heroes of old can join me in their rescue. The harrowing of the hunting grounds. It would be a battle of such triumph. And perhaps someday you'll join us in that battle. But for today, return to Jorvaskr. Triumph in your victory. And lead the Companions to further glory.
What do you mean further glory? Hadn't been much to this point. In fact, you needed me to restore honor to a group that had none.
Did I hear right? Did he say you were to lead the Companions? I'm just surprised. But your strength and honor are apparent to all. And it's my honor to be first to address you as Harbinger. Let's go tell the others.
Well, I certainly don't want any of the other companions leading, except maybe Ayala. Or else the only contracts you're going to take are 3 versus 1 fully plate-mailed, overgrown buff dudes running in and beating up old ladies in alchemy shops. That would be the only contracts they take. Anything else might be too dangerous. They might fog your mind with questions about honor and stuff, and whatever femmy-ass excuse you can come up with. These dudes, just, wow. I know little girls that will fight harder than that in real life. Wow. Alright. Throw another head in the fire and release my wolf spirit or whatever. Notice it's not red though? Huh? And notice it's a lot stronger too, huh? What's up with that, Kodlak? My wolf spirit's stronger than your wolf spirit? Huh? There's a boss chest. I'll tell you what, I don't like leaving anything in the environment. I really don't. It's just one more thing for the game to keep track of. And we're getting close to that point where frame rate issues and lags and freezes, you know, black screens when you're trying to go through loading screens. And we all know Skyrim is basically the elder loading screen scrolls. So that becomes a problem. Especially once your save file gets up around the 8 to 10 kilobyte range, it becomes an issue. It really does. Not so bad as it was maybe in Fallout 3 or New Vegas. Not quite, but close. At least that's been my experience, having some problems. I still have pretty good load times with my PS3. I really do. In fact, I would say they're a little bit better. Although with my PS3, I also have a different hard drive installed too, so that does make some difference. A bit higher RPM, and I don't think the capacity makes any difference really, but the RAM is pretty good. Spins a little faster. It seems, yeah, it's not really all that perceptible, but it's there. Decent loading times, but still the whole issue of save files getting big and just clogging up the cache to the point that you just freeze loading in and out of screens, or sometimes going to certain areas. In my experience, it's been in the Reach, especially going around. In fact, you have to go around one of the what do they call it? Redoubts or whatever, where the Forsworn are, to get to a part in the main story with Delphine and this other character. You have to go around that area, and I remember having huge frame rate issues, like 1 or 2 frames per second type of thing, where it's not freezing, but it's just so clogged up that it can just barely, it just bogs down.
May the gods watch over your battles, friend.
Yeah, I'm really not wanting to hear anything from any of the companions. In fact, you know, we'll take care of this. Notice this door opened here. I think there's a shout word up here. Dragon wall or something, if I recall. I don't know if there's any other way to bypass doing this quest and get up here and get this shout without joining the companions. Probably so. Some way maybe you could jump up around the outside of the ledges or something and get up here. I don't know. I don't know if they close that off to you or not, but try to remember to grab this along the way. But yeah, as soon as we're done with this, go back. We'll see if anybody wants to chat, maybe at Jorvasker or whatever, and then probably be pretty much done with this. Like I say, leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not a big fan of the companions. At least not the individuals calling themselves companions. It's nice to have a fighters guild or whatever. Honor and glory and all that, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah. This group right here, yeah, take it or leave it, I think I'll leave them. Except Ayala. Ayala's cool. I've always liked her. And maybe the Dark Elf guy who teaches one-handed. Although he's got his little attitude and stuff, he's halfway cool. I think he'll at least scrap. I think he'll fight a little bit when put to the test. Or at least try to.
Watch what you're doing. You're someone who can get things done. I like that. And that's exactly what the old man wanted. I'm glad we could give it to him. Eventually. But this is the Tomb of Ysgramor. I think I'm just going to commune for a bit. This place is worthy of some time. You go on ahead. I'll see you back there. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have expected it. But that may just be because I remember when you were just a whelp who was begging to join. The old man trusted you, so I'll trust you.
Yeah, she's actually pretty cool. And at least she has the respect to,
Something has shifted in the moon.
respect for other people's decisions. Like Kodlak wanted to get rid of this. She likes the beast form. She digs, you know, getting butt naked and furry out in the wild and running free through the woods and all that good stuff, right? Well, that's cool. That's her thing. But Kodlak wasn't down with that. He wanted, you know, he wanted to go off and join his fellow companions and his ancestors and stuff, and in their version of heaven or whatever, Sovngarde, and you know, she was able to respect that too. Like, okay, I dig this, and if you don't dig it, that's your right. That's cool. And she was the only one that stayed down through the end to actually give it to him. So she earned her place. The rest of them, garbage. Just garbage. Let's see if anyone came down here, or are they all hiding off in a corner somewhere ashamed of themselves for being garbage? Empty. Could just be the time of day, but you know what? It's kind of fitting. And Iola's probably back there actually paying some due respects to a place that her entire order is essentially named after. I mean, it stems from that. I was noticing this. I wonder if this is supposed to be like a weapon rack for Wuuthrad, if you just chose to put it there or something? Or is that where Wuuthrad initially was way back when? Or something? Well, no, it's always kind of been in pieces, so I guess not. I don't know. But it just looks like a place, a mount for maybe a big weapon for an axe or something. I was kind of curious. All right, well, thanks for coming along for the ride. I guess from here we'll go, I don't know, go do Azure Star, maybe get back in the Dark Brotherhood stuff or Civil War stuff. Who knows? We'll figure out where to go from here. All right, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, click the button up top. And if you want to catch the rest of this Let's Play, then click that image there in the middle. It should send you to the playlist. All right, either way, I appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.